Hey guys, it's Erin, and we are back with another mixed media menagerie, which, as you know, is a collaboration between Laura and Nicole and myself. This month, for the month of November already, we're going to work with three colors of our choice: black and white, rubber stamp, Q-tip, and liquid watercolor. So this should be fun, and we're going to work in our Dina Wakley Media Blue Journal, which we are almost at the very end. Thank goodness. I cannot believe still that it's November. So I got a candle going. I got a delicious drink. It's nice and cozy in the studio. I've got all my supplies. So let's dig in here. I'm going to use these Dr. P.H. Martin Radiant Concentrated Watercolors. And I'm cheating because I'm using the cyan, the magenta, and the yellow, so I can make my own little rainbow. So let's get into the book. As you know, I hate these pages, so guess what I'm doing? I'm going to cut it out. And we have that terrible bleed through from those mermaid markers up in that corner, but since it's watercolor, we're going to make it work. So I'm just pulling off any of those extra little threads there, and then I'm going to take some masking tape because I know that they're just going to be an eyesore if I don't. So I'm just going to put that there in the crease of the book where the pages meet, but then also I'm going to get really watercolory and I don't want it to seep through into any of the other pages. So I'm going to add a little bit of gesso. This is going to be like my glue, but I'm not going to put it over all of the 2 pages. I'm just taking my paintbrush, kind of willy-nilly putting it wherever, and this is going to give the watercolor a little bit different texture. It's going to dry a little bit differently and kind of be patchy, so that'll give us a little bit of interest to the page. So now we're going to go ahead and work with these watercolors. They are super concentrated, so you really don't need a lot. So I'm just going to put a little bit in each of these little cubes here. Cubes, water dishes, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. My paint palette, there you go, that's the word. So I'm going to add a little bit of those in there, and I've got my 3 colors. Now I wanted to show you really quick. There are 2. There's the Radiant Concentrated Watercolor, and then there's also the Hydrus. I'm sure there's like a scientific difference between the 2, but I just wanted to show you that instead of regular watercolors, these are they're staining. So I did one of each, and I'm drying them up really good. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of water. Sorry for the blur. My camera, I don't know what it was doing. But you can reactivate a little bit and pull it down, but it's going to stain more. So if you're not a fan of watercolors because it lifts up the color underneath, then using these vibrant P.H. Martins is going to be easier for you. But the drawback is you have to really make sure where you're putting the color is where you want it, unless you lift it quickly. So I've got my colors there, and now I'm just going to add a bunch of water all over the paper, and I'm just going to go with my intuition. It might get messy. I'm just going to go with what feels good, how the brush moves across the pages. So I'm just going to throw on a little bit of music, and then we will do a couple layers of watercolor, and then I will check back in and we'll go from there. So now that that's all dry, I'm going to grab some of these fun art foamies. Now this isn't necessarily a rubber stamp, but it's still a stamp, so it's going to count. And I'm going to take a little bit of white gouache. This is just the Turner Design gouache, and my camera totally shut off, but I just stamped a bunch of these flowers all over the page. And now I'm just taking some white gesso and I'm going to paint around these. The gesso is going to be thinly layered, so you can still kind of see some of the watercolor, which will activate just a little bit. And as you can see, boom, a couple layers, and I just still wasn't feeling it. The flowers weren't popping. So I grabbed black, a little bit of the black PH Martins, and now I'm going to paint around all of the flowers, and I'm going to make it a little bit washy and wipe some of it away with a rag. So that way still you can see the hints of the coloring rainbow from underneath in the background. So that is just what I'm going to do right here. Now that I've added that luscious grunge onto the page, I'm going to take a navy blue, almost kind of a Payne's grayish colored chalk pastel, and I'm going to go around some of these flowers and just deepen up that shadowing or the darkness in the background. I'm kind of feeling like I want these flowers to pop, but maybe we're in sort of like a nighttime feel. So now I have my brush and I'm just going around and smudging that pastel. And again, you can still see the coloring from all of the layers beneath. So you have the soft, subtle coloring, the kind of grayish. Now we've got that blue on top of there. And I'm going to add just a little bit of some lighter pastel around the outside to kind of bring it more shadowed near towards the inside of the page. And I'm going to go ahead and set that using some of the Degas fixative, which works wonderful. You can use it inside, it doesn't smell, and I'm even going to cheat and use my heat tool to go ahead and dry that so we can move on to the next step. Now I just have a Montana paint marker in white, and I'm going to go around all of those little flowers and give them a really nice border and some stems as well. Added a couple dots too, kind of make it, maybe there's some fireflies flying around in our little garden. And I took some of that paper that I cut in the first part of the video and I dyed it yellow with the watercolor. Of course, my camera shut off, but that's what I did. And then I took some of this beautiful washi tape from Nina Fickett Designs, and I'll link that down in the description box below where you can get some of this gorgeous tape yourself. But I put that on top of my little yellow piece, and then I used just some of the Tim Holtz little words, the sticker words, and I said appreciate beauty, because I just thought that was kind of fun. We have our beautiful vibrant colors and, you know, just kind of muted and grunged just slightly. So I took some Aleene's glue and I'm putting that a little bit thicker because there's that texture. It's like the weave of that, whatever you call that stuff, that paper. So I'm just kind of putting it on heavy there. We'll go ahead and let that dry really well, but that is going to finish up our page today. Don't forget to take a little bit of time out of your day to find some gratitude, appreciate the beauty that's all around you and within your life, and tell all those that you love them. Don't forget to check out both Laura and Nicole's videos, and until the next time we get together, happy creating.